So, then we have sound, which is awesome. We ain't had sound in a minute. We ain't been able to go live in a few. We ain't been live in a minute. What up, Rob? What's a guan? Right there. Get that right there. Powerful stuff. All right. That way people see what we up to while I'm getting my other stuff together. Left a big job in the city, working for the man every night and day. Something, something, something. Oh, the word something. Oh, let me dump this bucket. Ugh, I got a leaky pipe. Ugh. In the basement. So I have to empty it every few days. Happens to be right next to this toilet, so the most convenient inconvenience. But it's a nuisance when I forget. Fortunately, concrete is the only effect. Maybe we'll get that plumbing done today. Be pending. See if we can find a charger for this battery without having to go outside if that's possible. If not, I gotta do what I gotta do. Oh, there we go. There we are. And the mic sounds nice. Check one. The mic sounds nice. Check two. You didn't know the beatbox was back, did you? Hip Hop Workshop. Can't play music, but I can play me. Take a fresh throwback right there. Let's see what we're gonna do about this knife, though. Fresh out of the oven, cooled in the oven for, heated in the oven at 400 degrees for about 2 hours. Then I just pulled it from the oven. You let it cool down to room temp from the oven, which it is now, in the oven. And then we'll be ready to go. Let me see if I can find me on the monitor so I don't gotta squint at you. I just wanna hang out and maybe chill with you. Don't make me try to squint at you. All right. Done dada. So this is the boy we on right now. No blade. Came out of that right there. More or less. More so, I rip it to a so I let a fast life come through in the pour slow like whoa. And this little beauty, working on last night offline because I just didn't have the internet to bring you along with me. But out of a blank I got sent from Eco Wood Creations, Mr. Macau, who is the super coolest. So let's see how we fit once we've heated this thing up. And then we'll see if we can put this together and then start finalizing our blade, clean all of that up, make it good. I don't think it's going to be better for me to do this separate for sure, but I kind of don't want to. I think what I'm going to do though is do it separate because there's a great advantage to this one little nipple here. And what it is it allows you to hold this thing from the very end really securely, but at the same time very lightly, right? So that when it's pulling on the belt sander, you can just let it kind of float and it gets the finish just so. I mean, it takes the material down in a much more gradual method than when you put heavy pressure on it. And I really liked what it did with this blade when I pre-cut it. So real quick, hello Rhinestone Suzanne. How you doing? Christopher. Of course, my guy Rob in the building. Appreciate you being in the chat. Anybody else who's up here, I appreciate you too. Hey, Mr. Tim, how you doing? Oh man, y'all got to check out Tim's interview with Delon. I didn't catch it live, but I was able to go back and watch it this morning. It was very good. Man, congrats on that. That's good content right there. All right, let me see what I can do with this thing. I wonder if I kind of like that darkness, you know what I'm saying? I kind of do. I kind of do. But we're just going to have to see. I've only heat treated one other knife prior to this, and I went through the whole polishing sets of methodology with it. I went ahead and broke it down with the wire wheel, got all this stuff off, cleaned it up, sandpaper, and I just worked my way down. This could be the way to do this. Could be the way to do this. But we definitely haven't gotten our blade to the end. So here's what I'm thinking. I've got hey Grumpy, how you doing? I've got some whetstones already set up. I'm gonna go refresh the water. We're gonna run this over the whetstones first. It's unconventional, but what are you gonna do? I'm gonna just go take these, make sure I didn't get any shavings in it from the metal. When I was cutting all this stuff in the same spaces like a goofball. But hey, it's what I do over here. So I apologize if I start to break out. I'm getting a little bit far away from my receiver, but I won't be gone long if I am gone at all. Just using this archaic antique sink in a laundry room that will eventually be small kitchen space. Which I don't know if you noticed, I got a refrigerator and a stove in the corner of my shop because family's disrespectful. No, it's mostly because I'm lazy and that's where I unloaded it off the truck. And I'm like, I'm not carrying it all the way back there until I have to. And there it has stayed. Stayed there the entire while. All right, all right. Should be back in the range. Jay-Z in the range. Can't figure it out. It's like hazy insane. Yes, sir. I'm cut from a different cloth. My texture is the best for chinchilla. I've been illa. Been told you. How you think I got the name Hove? I've been illa. The game's over. All right. Let's get this off here. I love when I cut some wood with that dye in it. It gives me this little colorful sawdust that just makes me happy inside. I don't know why. All right, all right. Let's see what we got. Some scroll. Let's see. First thing we're gonna go with is obviously the 400 grit. See what we can get out of that. And then, I think though we're gonna off with the heavy duty or medium duty, I should say, gloves. Put us on something that gives us a little bit more sensitivity, yet protection. Oh, I got another little plastic freaking storage container unit thingy my bob down here, and I love it. I cannot have enough little carts on wheels for all the stuff I got down here. What up, violin? Royalty? Good sir. How are you today? We got a couple of Brits in here this morning. Sometimes I come in and they get right upset with me. They say, hey Wiz, your accent is bloody rubbish. And I say, well, let's hear your American accent. See how good it is. And they never do. They never bloody do. I don't know if it's out of respect or they're embarrassed about Idris Elba. But either way, got to do this bloody accent perfectly, as they always have. As they say, haters are gonna hate. Oh, I've amused myself at the expense of my friends for the last time this morning. Maybe not. Maybe not the last time today. You can hear that daggone 400 grit singing. You can hear it singing, bro. Jay-Z in the range, crazy in the range. Can't figure him out. It's like he's insane. Let's get that sludge off of there. Let's hit the other side. You say after the heat treatment, thing is supposed to be significantly harder. So I'm going to be a little bit maybe more diligent with the sharpening. I have not attempted cutting anything with it. I got it down to an edge that seemed sharp enough, but I knew that with the heat treating and stuff like that, it could potentially damage your edge anyway if it gets too fine. So it's recommended not to get it sharp, but somewhat sharp. And so now is really my first opportunity at good and sharp In fact, I've seen, and I'm not ruling out potentially running the sanders on it again. Because that was a really good experience. And I actually enjoyed it a whole lot. I really wish our here, if my internet was holding up well enough. Rob. That's the nature of the dad joke. You just let it fly, man. If nobody gets it, forget it. If I'm not laughing, it's usually because it made it past my screen before I looked up. I love me a good dad joke, though. See, that's telling us where we're actually sharpening. So also tell us where to adjust. And I really do think I probably, potentially, if I'm not satisfied, I will go back to that grinding wheel. Or that sanding wheel. Y'all hear me talking myself into it already. Mr. West, the family bought me a dad joke of the day calendar. That is awesome. I am corny enough to really be lightweight envious. Yo, that's a great gift. That is a great gift. Good on them. They've been paying attention, Tim. That's like giving, that's the equivalent of a man getting his favorite, like when a woman gets her favorite flower from you. She's like, oh, I always liked pink chrysanthemums and you remember. That's what a dad joke book would be for me. That is awesome. And I didn't realize you were happily retired. That's amazing, Tim. Congratulations on that. Sounds like you've been at it for a little while now, but wonderful that you've got all these skills, right? That now you get to just sit in and freaking get to it. That's awesome, man. Rob has a similar situation, and that he gets to get the good time, man, with his garage and just freaking make tons of awesome wooden things. Really a lot of the same stuff I'm doing over here. I feel like there's much more to come over there, though. As there is over here. Now, I don't want to bore y'all too much with this, but I'm going to continue to do it because it just feels very essential to the process of, I really want to get a good edge on this knife because it's my first, I did one heat treated carving knife, but I sent it out into the world already. And it's in the hands of a much better carver than me, so hopefully he'll find some good use out of it. But this knife may go out to somebody. It's really hard for me to hold on to my best stuff. I really feel like it's worth the effort to get it out into the world. Maybe somebody let me know if it's good or no good. I sent out a couple knives now. I've gotten 5 out into the world, and I've got one more, but I got to reach out to Ruiz and just make sure that I've got accurate information. But I have a knife here for him too. So right now, I'm just trying to knock this edge down nice and clean. Hey, home. Hey, Rob. Man, Ron is in here, the knife king. The knife king, everybody. Homemade 1970. Ron is absolutely one of my favorite YouTube channels. If you have not subscribed, you should. Amazing. Like I'd heard about his channel like months ago. And then one day somebody mentioned him again. I was like, they were like, Ron's on. And I went to go see him. And man, that dude, first off, I learned he was an HVAC tech, which I'm a contractor, so I was immediately interested. And I saw with his leather working, he uses some tools I'm familiar with, like just metal cutting tools, and then a couple of specialty metal tools that I also happen to have. And I'm like, man, I got some of that stuff. And he was kind enough to tell me sort of a, the poor man's way of heat treating this this tool metal that I use. And this is the first full blade that I've done that process with. And now I'm trying to sharpen it up and get it together. Hopefully. I've decided that diligence is the way here. I don't want to rush it for the sake of holding on to people. But yeah, anyone who's been over there absolutely 100% agrees with me that Ron is amazing. I won, this is not paid advertisement, but I won one of his knives, and I promise you, I've not been more excited about anything in a long time. Like, as a tradesman, I see mastery all the time. I see people who are going out of their way to make sure that some particulars are met. And I see that every time over there at Ron's, and it's just amazingly impressive. So it's a good place to be. And he does these giveaways. Oh my God. And if you want to, get a actual custom made knife, like he's not doing it like this. He is starting with a bar of metal and a freaking forge and a mallet and an anvil, like the real deal, not this cutting out of the blade. And I don't say that to put down my own stuff, but that's the level I'm at. And I'm saying Ron is absolutely at mastery level. I am very much at introductory. But wow, if you enjoy this, you're going to love it over there. If somebody has the capacity to put his channel in the chat, that would be dope. I don't know if I have any mods in here. Maybe Rob, if you would, if you could. I don't know. Who also has an amazing channel. And Rob, if you would put your channel in the chat, because that is my morning cup of coffee right there. My morning cup of coffee I have with Rob most every morning that he goes live, which is often. And that's usually about, sometimes 5, 6 a.m. here, which is perfect for old dude like me. But over there, I guess it's pretty deep into the morning by the time he's on in the UK. Hey, Mr. Number 5, how you doing? Laser cut my knife length. I think I like this process, though. It's a weird thing. I think what I'll do with knife making is work my way back in time. Like I'm doing this because this is a fairly safe and simple and easily accessible introductory way to get into without, because I don't know enough about forges to put one under my home. You know what I mean? I don't know enough about it. And I know that when you don't know about dangerous stuff, you don't do it until you do know enough to feel comfortable, confident. So once I am, maybe I will, but eventually I'll be in here hammering or, but there's a whole lot of other things to do before that. I still got that lathe over there. I haven't fired up since it's been here, but also I can't because I've got to take it apart and build a new bench for it. And thank y'all for tolerating me and my knife sharpening. But I haven't been live in a minute because of they're working on my internet on the street. So, but I appreciate y'all hanging out. I'm just going to keep knocking that edge down. And what I'm trying to do is move that round back, right? As long as it stays flat from the tip, the further back that goes, the narrower the edge of my blade is, and probably the better. So I'm trying to do that essentially, and I'm gonna have to do that with the 400 because that's my roughest stone. But I kind of like doing stuff by hand. You get a better feel of it, of what's going on. It's kind of like driving a manual transmission car, right? Like my trucks are not manuals, but they all are very analog in that they don't have a lot of things in between you mechanically and the road. I think that helps you become a better driver than a car that'll snatch you back out of the lane, which there's a place for. But I think you learn the old school way first, and then that way you know what you're after, even if you're doing a machine's measurement and mechanism and whatever, but you'll at least know what that machine is supposed to be producing. Number 5, your hand is better. You hurt your hand. Yes, Runic does do some forging. That is true. I would love it if he would start doing that again on his channel. I don't think I've seen that on his channel yet, but I haven't deep dove in Runic's channel. Aside from mostly his lives and some of his, a lot of his builds are cool over there. But he showed me some knives he's made. They were absolutely beautiful. Drop that. You mentioned that he wants to attempt to forge again. He should. He's a very naturally talented guy too. You can tell detail that he's able to put into things and the attention he's willing to give it. And you just know that whatever's coming out of there is going to be exceptional. I think that's just sort of who he is. Also, if y'all haven't checked out Delon's interview with Tim, you should do that. That's a good time. That's a nice. That was Thursday night. Um, Buddy Rusty wasn't in there that night, but Kevin did a great job filling in, I thought. Just gonna keep clearing that. Keep sharpening. Let's try this one a couple of ways. I'll let the blade trail for a little bit here. I've seen guys that'll just bear down right on that edge and go right back and forth, right back and forth. There's so many different ways to do this. People get pretty caught up in their own method. But like I said, if you learn what's actually mechanically going on, then you know what to do. Really, no matter which direction you're pulling in, because you know what you're feeling for. And you know what surfaces you want to hit, so there's that too. Ron also does the sheaths, all the leather work, the sheaths for the knives too, which is also amazing. You asked me if I wanted to make a wooden one. I don't think I would attempt to make anything to alter or be an accessory to his great work. It's so unique looking. It's so so sharp. I don't think I've ever seen knives look that sharp. They just look sharp. And then he like holds a piece of paper. Like, I don't know if y'all know this. When creators cut a piece of paper, they usually attempt to hold it close to, so they got the firmest possible grasp on it and stiff as possible, and then slice down. Ron will hold it way out here and just go pew, 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 and it'll be just slicing off like butter. Like, man, like perforated butter. Dude is dope. New Roots, how you doing? Boom challenge. Hey Wes, what's my favorite carpenter pencil? You got a collection? No, I don't. I will tell you my favorite carpenter pencil accessory is is that little retractable leash I have for mine. Because when I'm working up and down ladders and stuff, I lose my pencils all the time. Uh, but I haven't invested in any. This is, if I'm trying to do refined work, this is pretty much what I'm going to use. Because I can put that tip out as long as I want and go around things, but still be next to things. Um, so that if it's wood, then, you can use a little scribe knife. I just mailed the scribe knives that I made off to somebody who is much better at scribing than me. So I'll make some more. But that's probably my answer. Because generally I would just use edge of my pocket knife that I happen to have in my pocket. But you guys don't see that as well, and it doesn't show up. A scribe on a piece of wood doesn't show up as well on camera as a contrasting pencil mark. So that's pretty much why. I have a marking knife for real fine stuff. We those pencils. Get tired of sharpening it. Oh well, if you now that you mentioned the big box stores, right? What I oh real fast. What I never get sick of is sharpening those pencils with the drill bit pencil sharpener, right? Like this bad boy right here. Oh, I guess my battery needs to be inside of the drill. It's not the wireless cordless. But I put that little bad boy on there. All the effort it takes to do that, I still don't care because that's awesome every time. So I'll keep this thing next to me. I really like it. Uh, Mostly for the fidgetability of it. It's, it takes time. You can just get a regular pencil sharpener, but I love those things. And they turn any pencil into a fine tip in just a matter of seconds. I feel better when I got a sharp pencil. It's like when you got a sharp knife in your pocket, you know what I'm saying? So I always keep one of those in my to-go toolbox. You just pull the razor out of your pocket. I get you. Like I say, different strokes. If I'm doing cabinet work, though, it's nice because you want to have that very tight edge. And on the job, if you've got to make some adjustments on site that you didn't get to do at the shop, you're right. It's nice to have a good sharp razor. But if my knife is sharp enough, it's a treat to pull out your own little pocket knife and ninja style. I think we're getting this down. I'm gonna work this edge a little differently for a while. Just putting a little pressure towards the edge over there, because this stays primarily flat on that side. The bulk of the bevel is over here on the upside right now, intentionally so. Kind of wanted it to be a little exaggerated. I think at this stage, we're still short of creating the bevel. And not yet sharpening exactly. And we can feel that burr. Clean it back off. Oh, they have 1.3 in silver. That'd be nice. That'd be nice to have an edge that you don't have to sharpen. I think those are really nice. That you can just have a nice little fine point. It's raining here. I'm so glad that I've got signal and I'm able to keep y'all here with me. I appreciate any of you that are here. Thanks for hitting subscribe. Thanks for hitting the like button and keeping it pumping on the tube. It's been a long time coming. Oh, I don't want to get that one wet. That is my polishing towel. Soak up some of this excess water. You know, some people like to lead with the blade. Some people like to trail with the blade. We've seen people do this back and forth. And if you know what you're trying to get to in the edge, the rules stop being important. What becomes important is the math, the science, the geometry. So that's pretty much what a method is. It's a way to bypass the thinking of how to. Now, it's always a functional method, but it is a method that makes it void of thought. Hold this at this angle and it'll work. Pull this in this direction and it'll work. So I like to think about what's actually happening. If these are aggregates in this material, they're slowly and finely knocking little pieces of metal off this blade until the graduation in thickness becomes fine enough that material wants to slide off of it. That's all. I got a long ways to go. Let's see if I can do it like this and work it down. Hold this angle. I guess you just can't be too afraid that you might make a mistake. The thing about it is it's metal, so you can always rework it. Change the angle ever so slightly. I'm going to work that ridge all the way up. I'm going to pull a West and make the Kadashi marking knife out of a Sawzall blade one day. Oh, you should totally do it, man. You should totally do it. And it was fun. I will say that. It was fun. Gonna do it again. Until I have a set of tools. They're all good ergonomically and competitive with the higher end brands. And not because I don't like the higher end brands, it's just that I can't afford it. And I've got more time and interest than I do undesignated money. So this way I save some money, still end up with a good product, and more importantly, I end up with some experience. So even if I don't end up with a good product, the next attempt will be even better. And right now, this is shaping, so don't get too beside yourselves. I get that this is not what you want to do if you're trying to get that edge. But I'm trying to move that edge. And because the heat treatment works, because it's much harder to move that edge now than it was before. That's for sure. But I'm gonna move it. And so what I'm trying not to do is round over that edge. I've got a tendency to do that. It's to create a belly on the way to the edge. I want to try to avoid that and get it as flat on the way as possible. So I retreat them when I make them out of hardened steel already. I just cut the shape and polish. This one, I cut it last night and I heat treated it this morning. After I cut it and shaped it essentially to this shape and edge or whatever, I then torched it until it was glowing red, and then I quelched it. I don't know if that's the right term, in the canola oil. And then I took it up and put it in the oven at 400 degrees for 2 hours. And I started this live about half hour after that, once it had cooled down enough that I could handle it. I hope that answers the question. And it's tool steel, so at some point it had some heat treatment on it. But as much as I worked this down to this edge, I did a lot of it by hand. So um, I can feel that the amount of material that I'm able to get off with a lot of aggression is a lot less than when I initially cut this metal down. And I cut it off of a table saw blade. But yeah, like I say, I'm a relative novice to this whole process. I share what I do know, but not a lot. What I do know, I'm confident in because it was told to me by somebody who does a much more involved process, and he gave me some good rules of thumb on it. So I've been trying to abide by that pretty much with the limited circumstances I've got, resources, which is essentially what my channel is all about. you know, uh, building what you want out of what you got. I'm a contractor. I've got plenty of saw blades. I'm also sort of a hoarder. I can't throw them away. I'm like, that's crazy. It should be good for something, or I'll resharpen them one day. So far, I got 6 or 7 knives out of one blade, and then I've got one out of this one so far. But I think the takeaway in all of it is just don't be afraid. There's a level for you wherever you're at to get something effective. And a knife made from this kind of blade isn't a bad knife. Um, it's a knife you might have to sharpen more often, but it won't be worse than typical inexpensive pocket knife, which is what I generally carry around. But this with the heat treatment should yield better than that results, hopefully. But I'll keep making them, and once I have a product that I think is worthy of you know charging money for, um, then maybe I'll try to make something that makes all of this effort worthwhile financially. But we'll see. Pipe dreaming. But I'm sure there are, of course, much more efficient ways to get to the edge. But this is the way I'm learning it right now. So that's where we at, Jack. I am glad I didn't do this with the handle on. I know that once I put that handle on, that epoxy is setting up, I'm gonna be so impatient waiting them 5 or 6 minutes before I can go ahead and put the polish on. Because I think I've got that handle sanded down and shaped like I want it. I really do. Really do. It's gonna drive some people mad. What are you doing? Can't do that. Remember, I'm still shaping, not sharpening. Knocking off metal at this point. My belt knife's carbon steel. It feels super easy, but I just touch it up. Have to do real work. I chip the blade. I just did an epoxy job. Had to wait 72 hours 3 times. Killed me not having my shop over. Oh wow. Sheesh. That's rough. That's rough because you don't want to start making sawdust. You got that epoxy sitting up. Oh, so hopefully it was a good job and it felt worth it at the end. Get your shop back. I wonder if I should just put the files on it. Should be a lot more aggressive. I hit this edge. If I do that though, I'm still gonna have to come back to this. But I'll have a lot less of this to do. Hard to rough that edge back up once you smooth it out, right? There's a client piece kept to my son. Oh, nice. Maybe daycare is probably chipped in multiple places. I try to just not look at it. I appreciate that. I can appreciate that. I'm always making a knife now, so my everyday varies every day. Um, but it's always something that I put the edge on now. All right, now this is me attempting to put an edge on. The stroke becomes a lot more intentional here. I do not want to pull the aggregate back with me now at this point. As long as it's pushing away, I'm happy. But once it gets too heavy, rinse it off. The other side. Hey Renee, I grind my bevel with a double cut bastard as long as I can diagonally and stay on my bevel, it cuts clean. That's pretty cool. I am on the caveman side of things right now, which I guess I gotta say I actually enjoy. So I'll probably continue my cavemanery for some time. Thank you, Miss Renee. I appreciate that. MF Doom, one of my favorite rappers, one of the hip hop legends. We made this on a live stream right here. You ever get your like an itch while you're sharpening a knife? Jeez, it's so impulsive to want to reach over and just scratch it. Peel a layer of epidermis off you. Now this is now all of my efforts are primarily on sharpening this edge. So now I'm trying to pretty much stay in the same place. That bevel gives me the best chance at a consistent turn. I think I'm happy with that. All right, we're gonna go ahead and move up to the 1000 grit. This is off of the 400 grit, the Amazon Basic Stones. And try to maintain that same angle so that our point of entry is the same as our exit in terms of the stone engagement. And now we're on 1,000 grit. Hit both sides a couple times. Couple ways. Oh, thank you, your average Ohioan. I appreciate that. Thanks, Jay Maddox. I appreciate that. I'm working on it. You guys are awesome today. Thank you so much. It's nice to be back. Got my internet back uninterrupted. Oh, so good. We're gonna make one more pass on this 1,000 grit. Sort of a soft pass. I'm gonna go this way. Oh, rat. The rat smackle. Wonderful. Now I think we are ready to bump up to the 3 yeah. The 3 zizzle. Hmm. $8,000 grit. See what we get out of that. It's pretty much just gliding over there at this point. Let's see what we got. See if it's sharp. We could put some compound on it to do some quick polishing. I think I'll be content to hit it with a strop, and I'm okay after that. I think I'm okay. Everybody's favorite polish. A little cold in here, a little chilly, so it's a little clumpy right now. Should heat up though. Yeah, new roots, you're right. Gotta keep those stones wet. I've been soaking in water overnight, so they're pretty good, pretty much through and through. But to wash off the aggregate, especially in the heavier grits, 400 and 1,000, when you get to the higher grits, you kind of want some of that slurry behind. Helps you out a little bit. I love it when we start to get that polish on that edge. Really is one of my favorite things. Kids are outside riding bikes and singing at the same time. Nice to have fresh lungs, right? Not bad to have a fresh blade either. Let's try it. See if it'll cut something. Nope. Nope. Oh, wait. Let me get the whole sheet. What I'm trying to not do is cheat it by giving myself the best case scenario with the paper. Trying to just pull it like I'm trying to cut it midair and see how it does. There's a little of that paste left on there. Let's drop them some more. It kind of felt like it was catching on a little dull spot. But the edge, slice-a-roni. And if we get this blade good enough, we can refine it a little bit once the handle is on, but you don't want to put a lot of stress on it fresh. We do want it to be sharp when it goes on there. That's better. That's better. I can get out of that groove. Anyway, good enough for me. And we will definitely be sharpening some more. But I kind of like that rough next to that polish. And when I get further into that, I'll probably do more. I'll probably bring that edge up too. But the thing about me is I'm also a little bit impatient. So I kind of want to get on to the assembly. See what this is going to ultimately look like at the end. My through hole. That lined up good. And this is just maybe a little bit better than a half tang, maybe 3/4. But I'm going to put this one pin in. And if it needs to be different, work that up too. But I'm going to just use the edge of this because it's I got to make sure it will go through. Let me not use that. Let me just use the freaking mallets that I make all the time. Now it works through all of these holes individually and independently pretty easily. Make sure that with the lineup, we still got the same ease because it doesn't appear that we do. Now with the epoxy, that'll give us a little bit of lubrication for a little while. It can help. It can also make a mess of things if we got to do too much maneuvering while we've got that wet epoxy on there. So if we can avoid that excess, we will. So right now I'm just taking a little needle file, working out the inside of the hole as if it's one hole and not three, till I can get this barrel through. I don't know which one I need to open up more. Let's see. Makes it through that pretty easily. What I'm going to do, use this, and let's see if this little tool, there we go. Really good. Are my little next door neighbor's kids out there? All right, that's locked in. Let's get some power to it. And see if we can open that hole up a little bit. Working, just chipping away very easily. I don't want to make it too loose, but I feel like if I can get this bit to go through, that'll be enough. Essentially, just let the weight of the tool make the hole. Do it. All right. We made it through. That means the hole's bigger. and make it through on both sides. You'll know for sure. There we are. There we are. That ought to have given us some slack in there, which ought to give us enough room to let this go through there. And what is also true is this could use some pressure, some downward pressure, to just get it a little bit deeper. And I think I'm going to use that to my advantage. Leave it just like it is. Put the epoxies on, pop them in there, and I think that'll be what we need overall. And ultimately, let's go ahead and we'll spot of that. We'll mix those two together, and we should have what we need to have dope stuff on the way. Hey, hey, baby. Yeah. I need a narrower piece of wood than what I got in my hand. So look over here. Yep. Give me a little mixing stick. So I'll go ahead and put these over to each other. Do the wheels on the bus treatment to them. You know, round and round. And what I'm going to do is just coat that in epoxy. And that in epoxy. And a relatively thick coat. I'm even going to bother to try to get some in that hole. And then we're just going to... I really should put some in there too. I think I got plenty. It's squeezing out all over the place. So I'm going to do that. And then I'll try to squeeze that down. Still not bad. We still got a few minutes. So got that held down. And here is barrel. I'm going to just roll it around in that epoxy real quick. We are going through a little more epoxy on the outside of that, so when it's traveling through, it'll spread in there. We're out the other side. Boom, boom. So we're good. Next thing I'm going to do is put pinchers on that. not necessarily pinchers, but the F clamps. And I'm going to let that F clamp tighten up that edge right there. Neck. That way our epoxy will have plenty to grab onto. Ugh, get us a little squeeze out. Not much, a little bit. That's our knife. It's gonna harden up, and we're gonna clean up our top here. I'm gonna fill it with epoxy right now, though. We want plenty of bond in there, so we want all the epoxy in there we can get. And you can already tell how that color just starts to pop, just because it's wet with epoxy right now. Gonna do even more amazing things. That's already getting a little firm. Got to work on some shorts here. I got you up in the background. Thanks, I appreciate it. What's the grit I use for sharpening? I went from the 400 grit stone all the way up to a 3000 grit stone. And we'll just let that sit there for a second. And while it does, I will be right back. See you later, Brett. That handle is a triple dyed maple burl. I got it from Echo Woodcrafts. He does these amazing earrings. He gets this incredible wood, and he's a friend of the channel, so from time to time he'll share something with me. And I got this surprise box in the mail last week, which was a great surprise while my internet was down. Otherwise, I would have done a full unboxing video just on this, because he is a great friend of the channel, and I appreciate him a lot. Those injection dies are really sharp. I don't know how to do it yet, but I am absolutely going to try. I am absolutely going to try to learn how to do that. We're still a little bit sticky here, so I got to exercise my patience. I get very excited about stuff like this. In fact, now that I look at it, I really should put a little epoxy underneath there. Make me another little tiny batch. The great part about the two-part stuff, you can just do a little dot. This particular one though seems to take a little bit longer to dry than the ones in the little syringe bottles, but you get a whole heck of a lot more in these. Those little syringe looking bottles with the two separate little containers on them. Like you're paying for that little syringe each time. You're not paying for material as much. And now what I'm also doing is gonna go around these ferrules. If I'm using the right term, construction language. But right around those, just so we can soak in there. And that when I go to sand this down, I'm filling that gap already. Gap. Time it just right. That sawdust will get in there and stay in there. So I truly and honestly don't mind finding out something doesn't work. An important part of the process. Failure of things. So now where we're at is waiting on this to dry again. So I'm gonna take a little quick break from these gloves. I might as well go ahead and touch up my coffee. I mean, got another 2 minutes there. Y'all got the patience to tolerate another 2 minutes of observation. Show you real quick. Look at some of the other blanks that I got coming in. Here's what's going to blow your minds if you haven't seen this happen before. The finish, when you put the finish on these, get that. You get incredible, beautiful stuff showing up. And I don't know for sure what all I'm going to do, but whatever I'm going to make out of this is going to be amazing. What do you say, Rob? Glue? What do you mean, bud? Seem to be emphasizing that. What's happening? You're just saying I'm putting a ton of glue on? really think I might sharpen this edge. I get very self-conscious about sharp edges on knives. Maybe it's because I watch so many good knife makers. See how we're still wet. All right. Guess I'll go ahead and abandon the other 3 people that are here. Please hit the like button if you don't mind. While you wait for me to get another dose of coffee. And after these messages, we'll be right back. Guys, we might go in that bathroom today if we can maintain enough signal. I would say some of the knife makers here are just a little too technical with it. If it cuts, it's perfect. Knives are made to be used. This is true. This is true. That is my belief, in fact. Remove a couple of these out so that I can actually get myself some shorts footage. Because that little AI thing be doing what it be doing. I be doing what I be doing. So, thank you all for hanging out. All 6 of you. Everybody else can kick rocks. Just kidding. Hang out when you can. Dip if you got them. I'm here either way. Let's go ahead and get that off the clip. Put that on top of the strap. Ooh. All right. So, man, I think I got a knife I like. This one. Got this little finger hold here, and at the back, I get a little dragon tail, which also helps. Nice ergonomics. And I'm going to go ahead and knock down this back and make it even. With that, I'll sand these down and off. And I really may put some more bevel on this blade and then put some polish on it. See what I got after that. I'm just as big on the aesthetics as I am all the rest of it, if I'm being honest with you. And then we'll put the boiled linseed oil on this handle, which is going to be spectacular, I'm sure. So if you can hang out that long, good stuff coming up. Man. Ha! Hey, we did it. All right. What are we going to do first? Maybe we'll try to file that down with the Dremel, maybe. That might be, I don't know. I might just run that right there on that belt sander. Get that, all of it just knocked down, and then I'll come back and refine. We do want to make sure this epoxy is set up, because that epoxy will heat up and start to disbond if I go too early on it. Oh, thank you, New Roots. I appreciate that. I appreciate it. So what I do with the shorts is, I record the whole process, which I have pretty much already, and then I'll try to make something. And then, yeah, feel like this is dry to the touch. I think we can go ahead and start working it. See what we got. I'll put this over here on that over there. And I'll just do some sort of time lapse. Holy cow. Hold on, folks. I got a technical circumstance here. Ugh. I got a camera trying to come down. Sorry about that. Had to rescue myself. The things I do is what it is. We got to try to figure out how to get it right as best we can. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. Point is to not give up. Although currently, let's go. Well, stuff that YouTube. So thank you for sticking around, whoever did. Thanks for coming back, whoever did. And YouTube done it to me again. Let's go ahead and get some boiled linseed oil on this. Get something pretty. Vacation continues. Yeah, we back. We back. Let's grab where is that boiled linseed oil? Oh, right here. Like right here. Since I pretty much run everybody out of here, I may as well go ahead and get this short done too. Truly, truly beautiful stuff. Now, I don't know how much prettier a knife needs to be, but right there, do it for me. Anytime, every time, all the time. Hey there, Nikki New. How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Just about thinking about signing off. Now that we've already gotten the money shot out of this thing. And I thank you. So, this feels good in the hand. It's a lot of blade on that thing. I like it. I like it. Let's see if we can cut the stupid paper. Oh. We can cut the stupid paper. Let's do one more for the internet. I'm trying to cut over the epoxy, so anyway, thanks for joining me. I appreciate you, whoever has, and yeah, hope you enjoyed it. I got a short coming soon, like probably an hour from now, on the full making. I've already got part 1 and 2 out. It'll be part 3 from the heat treatment forward, and maybe it'll be motivating, inspiring. I don't know. But I do thank you for joining me while I did it. Certainly nice to have a couple friends in the room while I'm working. It's been a while. So I do thank you for that. Any of you that's got to go out and do what you got to do, I'll see you then. Hit the button on your way out if you would. If you want to see stuff again, you already know what to do. Till then, see you on the shorts. West does it. Peace.